childhood traumas, sometimes it is actually a reflection of how we were raised. We want to parent the way our parents parented us, forgetting to understand that we have a different setup. Sometimes our parents had the perfect parenting, but then our kids have different personalities and the setup is different. So we might want to tone it down or, again, spark it up. Now, kids who grew up abused and they've not healed from that, we should underscore the fact that there are loads of people who have been abused, but then they've healed from it. So if you are replicating abuse in your own parenting style, that might just translate to the fact that there's a void in you, you've not healed, and that's why it can be seen. So kids who grew up abused could actually replicate that, meaning that they could be overly defensive and they could take extreme positions, protective over their kids to the point where they miss out on the necessary discipline, and on the other hand, overly abusive on the kids because that's what they saw their parents do to them. That could be a possibility, so you want to look into that. Now let's talk about the children, right? And there's hardly much I would say about this. Why? Because they are already getting used to the fact that their mom's voice echoes louder than their dad's. Now most kids have the natural fear for their dads, or at least the stricter parent, and in this case it's the dad. What is happening? If a kid can stand up to challenge the parent, challenge the nanny to a considerable extent is a parent. Because of course, without the parents, the nanny is there to do one or two things. And the nanny considerably has a level of discipline that could actually be meted on the kids. Now, we are talking about within boundaries. We are not going outbound. We're not saying you can just do anything because you are a parent, or no. We are within the limits of what a healthy discipline pattern is. And this is what these children do not understand, sadly, in the presence of their parents. So let's talk to the father. And like I said, I really salute your vulnerability as far as the case is concerned and what you've presented. It is so disheartening. And I can only imagine to what extent this has gotten before you could seek, a third party's advice and so. But again, all hope is not lost. Let's look at some details you talked about, okay, that I want to point you towards. It's like I said, I'm making a lot of assumptions because you're not here to fill in these blank spaces. Beyond discipline, how present are you in the life of your children, like in their daily lives? Do you play with them? Do you talk with them? Are you available to take them out? Do you share their small joys, their concerns? As a father, clearly you're doing your most to provide for them. But then again, fatherhood entails much more than that, and I'm trying to see the fact that you are bringing in discipline because yes, you should bring in discipline, but sometimes the discipline could be at a time when you've not observed or monitor a pattern that is going on. And because this child has been amassing all of these things for a while, that's why this child could try to defend themselves in front of the nanny, because again, that could be something that he has missed for a while. It could be a pattern he has faced, and thinking my dad in this situation would rather take my side. I'm just trying to point at the fact that presence matters as much as presents matter. You see the difference? So when I buy presents for my kid, my presence should also blend in that. And it's as important. So these things could be happening. And they understand that they're kids. So when they tend to see their mother carrying out a whole lot of burden, maybe care, maybe standing for them, maybe fighting for them, in her own way, not necessarily the right way, they are growing up to believe more in that side. You see, so they tend to fear, they tend to respect, they tend to, panic when mommy is speaking, because again, based off of experience, their mother is more present. Again, I'm making assumptions here, but that could be what is happening to other marriages or other situations, and that's why I have to bring all of these different angles. So we're talking about the presence of a father in the life of the children, which extends or far exceeds even the gifts that you would bring forth.